association with Ajra Nahas from Spices Board India. We are presenting a lovely story for you, the story of their travel to the different corners of India to dig out the spices and their story, the history, lovely anecdotes. We have planned to have images of the spices. Now there is something wrong with the TV here, so let's keep our fingers crossed that the TV is fixed and we can show you the pictures, and we have a quiz based on pictures. So I really hope that we can get the TV going, and in the meantime we will have a book reading and then a conversation, and you have to keep listening to the conversation and the book reading and everything else very carefully, because some of the quiz questions might be based on the conversation. So be very, very attentive, and I can assure you that there are lovely gifts for you to take home if you win. There are at least 5 copies of the book Spice Story. It's a beautifully illustrated book by Yogi Books, which will be given away as gifts for the first 5 correct answers. And there are lovely packets of spices, gift wrap from Spices Board India for people who ask good questions. So let's start off, and we will begin with a book reading from Spice Story. So please travel with us, and you and Colleen Ganser. And for the rest of it, for the rest of the journey, you will surely have to buy the book from the Neogi bookstall, which is in the same hall, and get your copies signed by the authors, or you have to win at the quiz. The choice is yours.
Cardamom. The planter was embarrassed. When we asked him, what are those women doing? His eyes flicked away from us and he mumbled, they are harvesting cardamom. We had driven out of the commercial capital of Kerala state, Cochin, now called the Cochin, and into the wooded mountains of the Western Ghats. We had parked our car in a part of the forested range known appropriately as the Cardamom Hills. In a shaded valley, giant trees soared into the sky, their canopies basking in the sun, their feet in deep shadow. In that verdant grew huge clumps of lily-like plants, their leaves flaring up to 4 meters high. Women in bright saris crouched on the forest floor, touching the capsule-bearing stem sprouting out of the base of each bush. We looked closely at what they were doing and then turned to the young planter. Not all of them are plucking the pods, we said. Some are only touching the flowers. Why are they doing that? He smiled sheepishly. Yes, they are. Some of them are touching the flowers. If a woman does not touch them, if a man does, then he still seemed reluctant to go on, as if it was something he was ashamed of, and then he blurted out, if a woman does not touch the flowers, they might not form seeds. He shut and decided to be frank. There are many strange things about cardamom. Another thing is that it is difficult to domesticate it, to tame it. If you take it out of its deep forest environment, it is most unhappy. It is easiest for us to give in and cultivate it where it wants to be, even though the clumps have to be grown so close together that mechanical harvesting becomes almost impossible. We have to send our pickers in to manure their way between the clumps.
Before I resume the rest of the reading, I'll just give a little introduction about you and Colleen Ganser, about where they live and what to do, and then you will be able to relate what we are reading to what they do and what they love. You and Colleen They have a varied culinary experience because of their naval background, and they live in a Victorian cottage in the Mussoorie Hills, and they trek and they hike, and they have visited every corner of India, and the wide cultural influence of India has added to their Anglo-Indian roots and made it richer. So I'll just continue with the book reading now. Please enjoy. The astute Arab had done it centuries ago to inflate the price of cinnamon, another ingredient in our cuisine, garam masala. Back home in the Himalayas, we had browsed through our reference library. There was nothing about the fertilizing hand of women needed to enhance the setting of seed-filled cardamom pods. Perhaps it was a local phenomenon unique to the women of Kerala, or perhaps the cardamom farmers in Guatemala, where they also grow this aromatic spice, were prepared to accept the lower yields. It is a fact that cardamom is a native of the Western Ghats, and Kerala leads the world in its production. We put aside the touchy-feely aspect as an interesting facet of our research and moved on. Ahead of us, on that shadow-dappled road, a blue haze hung over a cleared patch of hillside. There was the acrid smell of a bonfire. As we drew near, we saw wood fires burning under a large metal sheet. The sheets had been piled with rich, dark humus of the forest. The planter told us that soil was being prepared for nursery beds. Heat and the fumes of burning logs would rid the loam of nematode worms and other pests like fungus. In this disinfected soil, cardamom seed would be planted immediately after the picking.
The planter referred to the forest where the cardamom bushes would mature and start yielding pods as fields. But that is a technical term borrowed from more domesticated crops like rice and wheat. There was nothing tamed about these fields. For thousands of years, the planter said, until about 1800, forest tribes and intrepid plainsmen hacked their way through these jungles, breeding wild animals and dangerous snakes. This is the home of the grey king cobra, blood-sucking leeches, and worst of all, the dreaded Anopheles mosquito, whose female carried a malaria parasite. Then, by trial and error, we learned how to cultivate cardamom. Come, I will show you a cardamom field being prepared.
Thank you. Now we will go on to the conversation with Hugh and Pauline Dancer. I'll just set off the conversation by asking a couple of questions and they can answer, and then Azra will take on from that and continue with the rest of the program. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Dancer, were Indian spices ever transported over land to the west?
Yes, of course. To Jordan. What's the famous place here in Jordan? Petra. And there we learned that spices used to come through Petra to the west.
Okay. And to most of us, peppercorns are black. Do they come in any other color?
Yes, they do. They start green, then they become pink, they become red, sometimes they become yellow, and eventually when they're dried, they become black. The peppercorn comes in many colors. Don't think that what you see on your table, grinding into your food, that's the final product. They come in many colors. Also, I wanted to say something. The cardamom is a very sexist spice. It insists that women touch it before it flowers. And there's something as they read, the women of Kerala seem to have a very special touch. And I have a lady of Kerala on my right hand side right now, spices board.
To Azra Nahar, to carry on with the conversation with them. Azra.
Thank you. To all of us here, spices are additions to food that flatter our palate. We recognize them. It is in our kitchens, it is in the market, it is available. Spices have become ubiquitous. But this was not the case before. Spices will go back. Spices have a story to tell. From the ages of the treacherous journey of the ineffable men like Vasco da Gama and Giovanni Caboto, to the invasion of British to India, spices have crushed and created the world. So, before I go on to the questions, I would like to say that I'm really honored and really privileged to be sitting next to these wonderful authors who have done such justice and such respect to the world of spices. So, my first question to the Ganzers would be, there was a saying, commerce first, religion next. So how did spice trade influence religion in India?
Well, for one thing, the biggest international wave of travel started because of spices. And along with spices came missionaries. For instance, the first mosque in Asia is in Kerala because they came looking, the Muslims came looking for pepper. Now we'll tell you all about pepper a little later. But St. Thomas, who brought Christianity to India, came in a spice boat and he also landed in Kerala. At least the Jews came to India as spice traders. Spices have brought at least 3 religions to India.
My next question is, both of you have visited cinnamon plantations. Does a cinnamon orchid have a wonderful smell? What was your experience like?
Yes, of course, they do smell wonderfully, and but cinnamon, as you know, is part of a stem.
Actually, I totally disagree with my wife. I don't like the smell of a cinnamon flower. But what is more, people say that when you enter a cinnamon garden, you get this beautiful fragrance. Absolute hogwash nonsense. They don't know what they're talking about. There is no scent of cinnamon in a cinnamon orchard. You've got to strip the cinnamon bark, and it's the inner bark that has the perfume. Now, as you realize, there is a lot of difference in opinion between my wife and me. Coming out of your opinion. If there's a divorce, then you know, ladies and gentlemen, you're to blame. Asking the wrong question.
I think you're a perfect couple.
Thank you very much.
When we met earlier today, we spoke about clouds and